Hi, beloveds. Happy solstice, happy great conjunction, happy moment of arrival. I'm so honored to be here with you in a different format. And one of the things that the astrology of this time is inviting us to do is to begin something new that we plan to continue for a long time. And I think that there's something really powerful about me having come to the beach with my family and realizing that at 5:30 every night the three little ones under the age of 8 like yell and scream and make a lot of sound and take up a lot of space, and I had all this anxiety for several days, right, like building up to tonight because it's our special night and we do yoga together. And I think in honor of trying to create the kind of conditions that I would like to live into, I realized that something that doesn't have to be the same to be valuable, to be whole, to be meaningful, to be sacred. Um, and that maybe there was something really brilliant about this invitation to record something so that you all might take it with you this week and actually use it when and how and if you need this practice to ground, to center, to expand, to flow, to listen, to reconnect, to cry, to pray. um, and so it was a really beautiful invitation for me to just sort of sit with, okay, this is a different thing. And we've shape shifted in so many ways as we've done our yoga practice together. And yet again, we are invited into um, an allowing of what is, right? A deep acknowledgement of the parameters of where we are. We envision a spaciousness for the world that allows us to live into our values and beliefs most fully. And also, change happens by repeating a small, different thing over time, right? It doesn't necessarily happen with this one sweeping moment. And it's so interesting to have an astrological like eclipse or conjunction or moment where we think, oh, it's just going to sweep everything away and it's all going to be reset. And there is a power to that. Like the cosmos are supporting us in our rejuvenation at this time. But I think really what these moments of um, alignment in the stars, alignment in our life, alignment in our work are actually just helping us to land into the work that we've already been doing, right? It is a very beautiful and mesmerizing idea to imagine that the stars will just sort of zoom in their astrology and change everything. But I think the truth is, like, when things change, it is because we have been offering ourselves to the unfolding consistent, consistently over a period of time with our whole heart, even when it's messy and even when it's hard. And so perhaps maybe what we think of instead when these moments of astrological alignment come in is that they are supporting what we are already up to. They are amplifying the work that we're already doing, right? They are offering breath and life to the intentions that we have already set. And so we set them again loudly on purpose, allowing the universe to hear us so that the power of what we are moving and leaning into can resonate through the cosmos, you know? And that's something that I really appreciate about the path of yoga too, is that it actually doesn't ask you to like get onto a different path. It just says this is an ancient technology of awakening that is here to support the path that you're on. And it's not actually very often at all that we go to a place to practice, to be in our bodies, to listen to our inner wisdom, and we're not asked to throw everything out and start anew. You know, there's something powerful about um, a practice that meets us where we are, you know, and offers us these little nuggets, these little moments of possibly engaging in some small new behavior, new identity, new thought, new feeling. But that it's not this like wipeout, you know, it's not a tidal wave. It's the tide comes in and it comes out, and it does it every single day. And over a long period of time, if there's a piece of glass on the beach, the edges are smoothed and it becomes a piece of art, because it is something beautiful throughout, but also because of the process of having um, energy and water move over it, right? That we are made by these small moments of immersion, of allowing, of deepening, of listening. And and they all come together to create something that is holy and sacred and entirely different than we imagined. We could have never imagined it. Um, what it would be like to be formed by these tiny choices, these tiny moments, these tiny interactions, these specks of sand that add up to a life worth living. So I love you dearly, and I'm so glad to be here with you. And I miss seeing your faces on the screen, but I'm sending this to you with the hope that it keeps you really good company. And it is one grain of sand that nourishes you this week as you navigate this very strange holiday season. So let's do a little bit of yoga together and see what comes out in the wash. And we'll do something like an hour of movement, but as always, like you do you, and feel free to move in the way that feels good for you. So we'll start in tabletop position, hands and knees, and just getting into your wiggles. I'm going to try to talk as little as possible, which is a hilarious project for me, but mostly just because it's really nice to hear the ocean. And if, like me, you woke up today with some pain or discomfort somewhere in your body, what's it like to meet that with acknowledgement, with reverence of what it has to offer you, and without a whole lot of judgment? Like, okay, there's some extra holding in that place, and I will continue to nourish it with breath and tend to it as I move. When you're ready, right leg steps back, left shin swings behind you for gate pose. Reach up, arm past the ear. Big circle around with the arm. Hand to the earth. Tuck your left toes, right leg up and back into the sky. Bend your knees, stack your hips. Inhale, stretch your right leg long, knee to nose, squeeze it in. Step your right foot forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, long pyramid. Bend your knee, look out in front of you. High lunge, lift it up. Warrior two, open it up to the side. Flip your palms, exalted warrior. Windmill all the way down to the earth. Step onto your front foot, standing splits. Left toes go up. Step your left foot behind your right for a forward fold. Lengthen through your spine and then walk away from your front foot over to the right. Good. Come on back through center. Shift your weight forward into your right foot. Lift your left leg back up. Step back. High lunge. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to the earth. High plank. Take a deep breath in. Slow chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog. Good. Stretch it back. Downward facing dog. Big breath in, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, come back down to the earth. Swing your right shin behind you. Step your left foot to the back of the mat. Long through your left arm. And then maybe turn your gaze skyward in a big circle with your left arm. When you're ready, left hand down. tuck your left toes. Left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Step your left foot forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine, gaze out. Long pyramid, straighten and fold. Good. Bend your knee. High lunge, lift it up. And warrior two, when you feel ready. Flip your palms, exalted warrior. Big inhale. Exhale, hands down. Standing splits. Right foot snuggles behind the left. Lengthen your spine and walk your hands over to the left for a forward fold. Feel your toes spread and soften. Good. Come on back through center. Shift your weight a little forward into the left foot. Step your right foot all the way back. Strong through your back leg. Inhale, rise up, high lunge. Exhale, hands down to the earth. Side plank on the right. Outer edge of the right foot. Big circle with the left arm. Switch sides. Left hand down, outer edge of the left foot. Find your midline here. And then a big circle with the right arm. Right hand down to the earth. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to the floor. Locust pose. Interlace your fingers. Lift your toes. Back of the neck long. Down to the earth. Pause for a moment. Prop up on your right forearm. Bend your left knee. Curl your left heel in. Good, and then just gently switch sides. Curl the right heel in and spin your fingers to face forward. Release the foot. High plank, tuck your toes, extend. Downward facing dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees, top of the mat. Halfway lift, deep breath in. Exhale, fold forward. All the way up to standing. Reach up, gaze up. Hands to your heart. Feel your feet on the earth. Feel your palms pressed together. And what happens when you feel that center place, when you get really connected to your strength at the core? Can you expand out from there and soften a bit? Chair pose. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, deep breath in. Step back to downward facing dog. Right leg up and back. Step your right foot forward, warrior one. Take your time. Inhale, rise up. Warrior two to the back. Exalted warrior, lift. Half moon onto your left foot. Take your time to unfold. Hands together, knees together, come down into a little crouch. Revolved half moon. If you've got a banister, you can use it. Good. All the way up to standing. Hug your right knee in. Hold outside your right knee with your left hand and right arm behind you. If it wobbles, find your center and lengthen up from there. Good. Standing splits. Step it back. Right knee down, half splits. You could even take a little twist, right hand outside your left foot. Good. Come forward into the left foot. Lift your back knee. Walk around to the front. Pyramid pose. If you want to, you can really plant the hands, find the earth here. Shift your weight a little bit forward and squeeze your left heel into your left bum cheek. Step it back. When you're ready, find pyramid again. Left hand on your left shoulder, pull your right hip back and look over to the right for revolved triangle. Step forward, bend your left knee, squeeze it in. Good, and then stretch it back for revolved half moon. Grab your foot, press it back as your left arm stretches out. The standing leg can be really bent here. Give yourself some space. Good. Chair pose when you're ready. Let it go. All the way up to standing. And if it feels a little wobbly, just find your center here again. Chair pose. Sit back. Exhale. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Deep breath in. Handstand press if you like. Or step back. Vinyasa or downward facing dog. Big breath in. Full breath out. In your own timing, left leg up and back. Step your left foot forward, warrior one. Inhale to rise up. Warrior two to the back, exhale. Flip your palms, reach up. Half moon, take your time. Feel the front of your pelvis widen and open here. Good, down into the crouch. Hands together, knees together, internally rotate. And then revolved half moon, unwrap it. Twisting through the heart all the way up to center. Hug your left knee in. Right hand outside your left knee. Left arm can reach back behind you. Good. Come back through center, standing splits. Drop it forward. Step all the way back. Drop your back knee. Half splits. If you want to add the twist, walk it over to the right. Just give yourself a little space in your side ribs. Good, come forward again. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, walk all the way around. Pyramid pose, you can bump your back foot in. And if you want to, you can walk the hands back a little bit. Bring your weight into your front foot slightly and squeeze your right heel towards your right bum cheek. And then eventually bringing the back foot back down to the earth for revolved triangle. Pull your left hip back. Let your heart open to the left and maybe the left arm up. See if you can take up as much space as possible here. Good, we're stepping forward. Step, hug your right knee in. You're going to reach back with your left hand for your right foot, swing it back, and then stretch forward with the right arm. Notice how much your body can wobble and your heart can still feel light and calm. Good, release that foot. Chair pose, sink back. All the way up to standing. Hands to your low back. Standing camel, lift up and out of your hips and pelvis, and then arc back behind the heart. Soften your shoulders if you can. Inhale, reach up, gaze down, and then round all the way down for a forward fold. Halfway lift, deep breath. Chaturanga or downward facing dog. Up dog if you're moving through. Good, stretch it back, downward facing dog. Right leg up and back. Knee to right tricep. Sweep it up and back. Take your time, knee to the left tricep. Fallen triangle. Lift your left arm up. Can you breathe into the space of your belly? Let it take up some room. Good. Left hand down. Right knee to nose. Right foot forward. High lunge. Good. Warrior two to the back. Straighten your left leg. And take your time to reach. Actually, the best belly for yoga is a really soft belly with a strong center, right? Like a almond joy, you know? There's like something really magical and strong at the center, but there's a lot of softness around it. It's wisdom to know what needs to be tight and what can be soft and loose. Circle around. Half moon. Press off your back foot. Bend your knee, reach back, Chapasana. Kick back into your right hand. Strong center, soft outer. Good, release Skandasana to the front. Take your time. Right hand down and forward. Left arm up and back. Pivot around, top of the mat. Lizard pose, right foot out to the right. Drop your back knee. Open through your chest and collarbones. And then you could come down onto the forearms, maybe sort of angled out to the left as your right toes and knee point to the right. Just take a moment to breathe into the brilliance of your body, how it takes you all these places of depth, of learning, and it also tells you that when we're listening, it tells you when it's time to slow down or stop. Like, what a gift. Good. Start to walk the hands back in. If you need more time, by all means, right? You could balance right knee to right tricep. You could take Ekapada Kunyasana. You could flip your dog up, over, back. Drop your tush to reset. And then right arm up. And then unflip for a vinyasa, for downward facing dog, for a big wave, if that feels good in your body. And then we'll reset between sides with camel pose. Drop your knees, standing tall on your shins. Your hands could stay at your low back. They could cactus to really explore finding your core. And resting when it's time. Gently bow your chin to your chest. Release down to the earth for child's pose. Or if it feels good for your body, you can come with me for headstand prep. Make an open triangle with your arms. Roll from the forehead to the crown of the head. If you've got my wild bun, you might have to move it a little bit. And then tuck your toes, lift your tush, walk your feet in. And there's not a lot of swinging the legs. It's a squeeze, right? I'm squeezing in. Tiny little package. And maybe I stay right there. Maybe I play around with lifting my legs a little bit or even opening them out. And maybe you're in child's pose, breathing. And challenge yourself, if you've been inverted, to come down as slowly as you came up. Hugging the knees in, tiny little package. And then the toes come down. Yeah. And it might feel good to elongate a little bit. When you're ready, hands come out in front. Downward facing dog. Big breath in. Ocean breath out. The ocean literally just like does not hang on to things, you know? It washes around and over and through, and it doesn't cling. Left leg up and back. I'm still working on that, you know? Left foot forward. High lunge. It's good to have some things to work on, you know? Warrior two to the back. Straighten your right leg. Reach. Triangle pose. Close your eyes. It's just like so not about what this looks like. It's about, does it feel like there's space for my spine and I can find the core of my legs expanding down into the earth and pulling energy up from the earth to my sacrum. A big circle helps you come forward into half moon. And maybe you bend your standing leg and reach for that top foot for Chapasana if it feels right in your body. Good. Take your time. Skandasana to the front. When you're ready, left hand down and forward, right arm up and back. And pivot all the way around. Pick up your left foot, squeeze it in. Good. Sweep your left leg up and back, shake it out. And then the left foot steps outside the left hand for lizard. Toes point a little to the left, knee points out. And if you want to, you could come down onto a pillow, pointing your forearms out towards the right. Is there something that you've been holding on to really tightly this year? And can you attune to the earth underneath you, holding you? And just offer 2% of what you've been holding on to so tightly to the earth. You could stay here and linger if that feels right. You could tuck your back toes and take Ekapada Kunyasana. You could sweep your leg up and back and take it over for flip dog. I'm gonna have to move over a little bit. You can really drop your tush so you can reset. Make sure that you've got your alignment and then lift up and back. Good. Unflip when you're ready. Downward facing dog. Big wave with your body, come forward. And then bend your knees, sweep up and back. One more time. Inhale, ripple forward. Exhale, stretch it up and back. Right leg up and back. Step your right foot forward for low lunge. Drop your left knee down. Walk your hands up your right thigh. So we're stacking, tall spine, shoulders over hips. You might stay here. You might turn your palm to face up on the right side. Reach back with your left hand. Where's that foot? Yeah. And curl the heel and come forward of the kneecap. You could take a mermaid bind here, but by no means is that necessary. Yeah. And then release that foot, shift your weight back, half splits. Full splits if that feels good for you. Again, you could bend that back knee and do that same thing with a mermaid bind, or just lifting up. Lift your ribs up out of your pelvis, broaden through your collarbones. Squeeze your right heel back in. Rebend your front knee. Standing splits. Stepping onto the right foot. Left toes up. Hands wide. You can bend your knee. And again, we're reaching up this time with the opposite hand from the foot for a bind. Point your knee up towards the sky. Release. Stretch it up. Step back. Pyramid pose. Flex your right toes. When you're ready, you're going to walk over to the right, bend both knees, and you're in Gomukhasana. Right knee stacks on top of the left, staying lifted or folding forward. When you're ready for deer pose, you'll swing this back leg around. You're making 2 right angles with the knees. Walk to the outside of your left thigh. You could stay lifted here, or you could start to come down towards your forearms. And some folks like to make big circles with the top arm. Some folks like to turn their chest down towards the earth. So just feel into what's right for your low back here. Good. Lift it up. Stretch your legs out towards the back of the mat. Widen your sits bones a little bit. Big breath in, lengthen, and fold forward. And you're welcome to bind the feet or loop around the soles of the feet. All right, I'm going to put my hair up for this next part. So we're going to lift up. You're going to squeeze your legs together. Okay, strong and steady. And then right hand back behind you. Press into the outer blade of your right foot. Lift up for side plank. Good. Drop your tush. Pause for a moment. Squeeze towards the midline. Left hand back. Side plank lifted up. Different transition. High plank. Bring your right hand down. Downward facing dog. Left leg up and back into the sky. Left knee to left tricep. Sweep it up and back. Knee to right tricep. Fallen triangle. Thread it underneath you. Lift your right arm up. Good. Bring your right hand down to the earth. Sweep your left leg up and back. Shake it out. Step your left foot forward. Drop your back knee to the earth. Sweep your arms up. Okay. So shoulders back and down. You can turn your palm to face up. You can bend your back knee. You could even double up your mat behind you for support. Yeah, that feels good. And then reach back. Maybe squeezing the right heel in, maybe even lifting the left arm up. Whatever feels good for your body here. When you're ready to release, coming back for half splits. And eventually maybe full splits. Left heel extends out. The bowl of the pelvis wants to really tip forward. So just think of like less than a millimeter, lifting the front of your pelvis up and lengthening your tailbone down. Good, full breath in, full breath out. Take as much time as you need. When you feel ready, start to scoop your left heel in. You might bring your mat with you. Tuck your back toes. Sweep your left leg up and back. Shake it out. Step your left foot forward. Standing splits. Right toes up. Hands come wide. You can bend your right knee and reach up with your left hand for those right toes. Point your knee up towards the sky. Good. Stretch it up and back. And then step all the way back for pyramid pose. Lengthen your spine and fold forward. Maybe curling the left toes back. And when you feel ready, you're going to walk over to the left, drop your tush, snuggle around a little bit to let both sits bones be in some sort of connection to the earth. The knees stack how they stack. And just feel your tall spine. Just breathe in a little space around the heart. Giving yourself a little room to land in the grief and the challenge of this year. and also the brilliance of your body and your breath for helping you to make it through. Folding in if that's called for, if what you need is a turning inward and a deep acknowledgement, or maybe opening up and out if what feels good is to open to the possibility that there are other folks doing this practice right here, right now, listening, feeling curious, feeling ready to give and receive like you. And just notice how your system responds to the idea that you're not alone here. That you are deeply individual and unique, and you're also accompanied and witnessed. And whenever you feel ready, you can swing this top leg back and around and find deer pose, 2 shins open, 2 right angles with the knees, opening out to the side. I think we might have a little visitor. Come here, buddy. Do you want to do yoga with Don Don? Yeah. Yeah. That's the ocean, yeah. Do you see the dolphins?
Where are the porpoises?
Here, come look. Everybody on the video can look too. Look, the dolphins are right there. Wow. Is that the sound that the waves make? Yeah.
Dolphin.
Oh, is that how they dance?
Yeah. Don, have you been out here the whole day?
Most of the day, but I'm teaching yoga now. Do you want to come do bridge pose with me for the group? Yeah, but it's not live. They're going to do it later tonight. You want to do bridge with me? When you're ready, releasing deer, come onto your back. Let's do it together, Tutsalas. Ready? Bend your knees, walk your feet in, hands by your sides. Annabelle will show them how it's done, even in jeans. I mean, come on. It's amazing. Ready? Up we go. Strong through the legs, strong through the feet. Hi, buddy. Slow, deep breaths. And sustaining here if that feels good. Oh, you found my phone. Thank you.
I'll be right there.
We're coming down to rest. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for bringing me all my things. Windshield wiper a little side to side. And then setting up maybe for wheel pose if it feels good, maybe supported bridge with a block, hands by your sides, and inhaling.
I know how to do that.
You do? Do you want to show us?
It's a back bend.
It is a back bend, you're right.
I can do a full back bend.
You can do a full back bend. That's the difference between doing yoga when you're 5 and 34, is that I have to do a little bit of a warm-up, you know, buddy?
Are you 34?
I am 34.
Wow.
It is kind of a wow, right? Like 34 is, I made it through a lot of years so far. Huh?
I can see myself.
That's how computers work.
Okay.
Coming all the way onto your back. Happy baby pose. Squeezing the feet
Too
in.
hard on here.
Yeah, it's a toughie.
Why is there nail?
I don't know. It's a deck, you know? And then soles of the feet together. Squeeze it in. Bring your nose to your toes and your toes to your nose. Good. And then we're going to take figure 4. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Buddy, be really careful. That doesn't look like a good thing to play with.
This one's a little bit loose. This one's a little bit loose.
Do you want to do figure 4 with me?
Just stuck my brakes in me.
Right ankle over left knee and squeeze the left leg in. If you want to, you can stretch your left leg up and walk your hands up. That's okay. You know what?
Have you been outside like this whole time?
Yeah.
the whole time we were out.
But you're teaching us an important lesson. Sometimes you say, I don't want to do yoga right now. And that's so perfect, buddy. What do you want to do? Have a sandwich?
No.
And then release, uncross, windshield wiper the knees. Switching sides, left ankle over right knee. If this yoga practice isn't helping us to be more alive and present with the people we love, then I don't really know what it's for, you know? I think when I first started practicing, I remember being like, I need this period of time and it has to be uninterrupted and all of these doodahs, you know? And
What does doodah mean?
doodahs means a lot of criteria, you know?
What does criteria mean?
It's like a lot of different things that you have to check off in order to be able to do the thing to take care of yourself.
What does check off mean? Wait, Millie, what's that?
It means you're 5.
Chocolate, and Mama. Chocolate.
And releasing
That's
the
your
legs
chocolate.
down to the earth, windshield wiper the
Chocolate
knees. And lying
Millie,
back
have a hug.
for Supta Baddha Konasana. One hand to the belly, one hand to the heart.
No,
And if you happen to have your family around, just letting your heart swell to make space for them. This is part of the practice. This is part of what it is.
That's not for you.
Big breath in. Big breath out.
No, don't lie. Let's go inside.
Full breath in. Full breath out. One more time. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. After some technical difficulties, we are back on track. So on your back, squeezing the knees in towards the chest. Little rock side to side. And then if you want to set up for shoulder stand, you can do that in a number of ways. Sweeping the legs up, or you could do like me, you could scoot your tush up towards a wall and swing your legs up the wall. And it might even be nice to put something a little bit heavy like a sandbag or a pillow on your feet to really feel your sacrum and hips anchor down towards the earth. You might like to cactus your elbows here. And just letting the throat be soft. If you're in a supported shape, you can let the eyes close here. And if you're in active or supported shoulder stand, you could open the legs out wide to the side if that feels good. And then coming to Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet come together. And then stretching the legs back up towards the sky. You could stay with this or move towards plow pose, feet back behind your head. And eventually taking all the time that you need to roll down, or if you've been in legs up the wall, you could curl over onto one side and extend long on your mat, setting up for Matsyasana fish pose. Hands underneath your tush, puff up onto the crown of your head, point your toes, take a big breath in, lion's breath out. Twice more like that. Good. Squeeze your knees in towards your chest. Rocking forward and back as many times as you need to come up to a seat. And really, any forward fold that feels good to you. If wide legs feel nice, you can flex your toes, bring your hands out in front of you, make a little space through your lower back and spine, and then just really gently start to walk forward. Taking the time to really listen into your hips. If you move slow enough, the body can really get a sense of like inviting you deeper in as opposed to sort of forcing through the edge and then seeing if it's okay or not. Maybe there's just a little bit of fluidity, a little bit of cat cow here, a little bit of lengthening on the inhale, and rounding back on your sits bones on the exhale. And then you might like to take a bend to the side, either straight over the leg or reaching up and over. Switching sides when it feels like time. And when you're ready, you can use your hands to help you pull the legs together, squeeze the shins in, round your back. And then gently releasing. We're going to find our way onto our backs. If there are any other seated postures that you need, feel free to take it. If you're ready, you can lie all the way back for a final twist. Squeezing your right knee or both knees in towards your chest. Your leg will go over to the left. And you can reach your right arm up and back here. Maybe just gently looking over your right shoulder. If you want to add on, you could reach down with your right hand for your left foot and reach with your left hand for your right toes. And gently release your feet, come back through center. Switch sides. Wiggle it out a little bit. Hug your left knee in. Pull it across your body, scoot your bottom hip back a little bit, and just check it out. How does it feel with this simple twist? It might be just what you need. You might want to add some little bells and whistles. Gently release, come back through center. Moving towards a final side bend, you're going to cross your left ankle over your right, your left wrist on top of your right, lengthen through your side bodies, and then move your feet and hands over to the right. Your back stays on the earth, and you're breathing really long into the left side of your body like a crescent moon here. Good, and then come on back through center. Left ankle over the right, left wrist on top of the right, up and over. Leaning hands and feet to the left, and your ribs are sort of puffing out to the right. Back through center. Wiggle out whatever you need to. Grab a bolster underneath your thighs, or you can even bend the knees. And just bring your hands to rest on your low belly, one hand on each side. Breathing into your palms here. Feel your low belly expand into your hands and your low back expand down into the earth. We don't even really have to know what we're making room for. We're just doing these sacred practices so that there is room when it is needed, so that there is space and energy and capacity and a willingness to listen, so that we've already started practicing before we are called upon to have these tools and skills in service of our own liberation and the freedom of the people that we are surrounded by. When you feel ready, you can stretch out towards any resting shape, any shavasana that feels right for you. Feel into the space underneath you. Feel that you're really held here. If you don't feel held, grab some pillows so that you really feel supported. And then really inviting your body to soften into that support. Jirada Je Jai Govinda, Jai Gopala, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Jai Radha, Jai Madhava, Jai Govinda, Jai Gopala, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Jai Radha, Jai Madhava, Jai Govinda, Jai Gopala, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Jai Radha, Jai Madhava, Jai Govinda, Jai Gopala, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. This moment of the solstice is when the darkness and the light starts to meet one another, where we release this idea that one overcomes the other necessarily, and we end up in a place where we can really hold both things at once and see how they actually feed and support one another. The ways that it is dark allow for us to bask in the light. The ways that it is light create the kind of energetic engagement that requires us to rest and soften in darkness. So, just taking a moment to feel the balance of what it is that's felt dark, what it is that's felt turned inward, deep and challenging and productive and um, filled with introspection, filled with deep resonance of the divine feminine in this year and in this moment and in this practice, and allowing that to be in relationship with what is light, what is guiding us, what is the guru of this moment, what shines the light and illuminates the path forward. The pieces of you that have expanded and grown with fortitude, with capacity, with vitality this year. And just noticing how those places in your heart and in your body and in your mind are in relationship with one another. Because one exists, another is so. So we're going to pull our card for the year. So just taking a moment to come up to a seat out of Shavasana or whatever feels right in your body. Finding your way up to a tall spine, just doing a little investigation of what is present in your body. And I often end up pulling more than one for us, but there are several here that are really beautiful. And as per usual, I will struggle to read Roman numerals. So this one is the prayer. Worship, reverence, and homage. What is prayer? When we are in a state of prayer, when are we in a state of prayer and when are we not? Archetypally, the practice of prayer has been with us since the dawn of time as a remedy for the omnipresent self-centered thinking that spins us towards illusion. Prayer leads us beyond our ego as we move from our little story to the big one. Some say we are in a state of prayer anytime we are not the center of our own thoughts. Others say prayer is a natural result of gratitude. Perhaps it is simply surrender. Whatever prayer is for you, this card reminds us of its importance. Get quiet, low, and soft. Bow and touch the ground as your heart lifts to the sky. It is time. Nothing else will do. Consider the ancient mantra, Om Namo Gurudev Namo. I bow to the creative consciousness within. I bow to the teacher within. I think that it says when this energy is dark, we are expecting a lot of results. And when it is light, we are asking for guidance, asking to be of service. And I think this is such a beautiful card to get near the end of the year, right? Because we're like in this place where we're like wanting to see something coming from us, some result of our suffering and our pain from the year, that we're going to metabolize it and alchemize it into something majestic. Yes, we are doing that. And also, I think that sometimes this is like the story of Hanuman. Like sometimes we actually just forget what power we have. And the way that Hanuman always found his way back to his true north was that he would pause, he would pause in Virasana, sitting like this, and he would take this mudra and ask for help. And it's really interesting because it's a Abhaya mudra. It's the mudra of fearlessness. But he would always take it when he was like looking to the divine and saying, help me remember who I am. Help me remember what I am capable of. And there's something so beautiful about how, and he would always remember that in fact he was a demigod and had a lot of power and could sort of do these really incredible things to save people and support the earth. So I think there's something so powerful about that archetype of Hanuman, of like, that sometimes we forget what we're capable of, and we're like searching for this this immediate sort of result, this immediate kind of feeling of like, I know exactly where I'm going, I know exactly what I'm up to, this like clarity, especially when we've been in a time of suffering. There's something so holy about being willing to say, I don't know. I don't know what comes next. I don't know the reason. I don't know why it's hard. And yet I'm still willing to show up with a tender heart, with a soft underbelly. I'm still willing to kind of like stay open amidst all of the questions and just ask, where should I direct my energy? Where am I needed? Where do I need to tend to inside of myself? And also, what parts of my community and the world am I meant to be tending to with my unique capacity and gifts right now? So perhaps we can liberate ourselves from this idea that we will snap our fingers and then 2021 will suddenly not be the dumpster fire of 2020. And instead, we can see it as being on a spectrum, and that there is something really humble about being willing to get close to the earth and to say, I'm not sure what comes next, but I do feel that this earth is here for me right now, and that I'm going to stay in deep connection with her. And in doing so, I stay in deep connection with the divine spirit that moves through all of us and actually helps me relate to the truth that when I am working for my own well being and liberation, I am working for everyone's. So, this is an invitation towards um, a real letting go of needing to know what comes next. You know, just because we do the work doesn't necessarily mean that the path is clear. It just means that we're showing up and we're willing to be in the mystery of it together. And it's an honor to be here with you. It's an honor to get to guide you and teach you when the truth is that I really don't know what comes next any more than you do. And that there's something really holy about being willing to be in the humanness and the rawness and the beauty of that sort of spontaneity and synchronicity that can only happen when we don't overplan and when we release a little bit of control of knowing what comes in the next breath and in the next moment. Om Bolo Shri 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 Sadguru Bhagavan Ki. And I bow to the teacher and the light in each one of you.
Dad,
That's okay.
Dad.
Haley, will you do some deep breaths?
Letting the eyes close
Dad.
and just landing where you are. Yeah, that's the microphone. That's what picks up all the sound.
Huh. Dad, coach.
Don close. Okay.